Hey guys, Matt here. It's the Broken Supercoach checking in. We had teams last night, so it's Friday. Two Friday games tonight for some reason. Because AFL's too gutless to put West Coast Gold Coast on a primetime slot without a Victorian game, so that's probably the reason. Um, let's have a look. It's trade day, so I've already done it obviously, but it's trade day. Let's take a look at what we're gonna do. We got to the aim of this is to catch up to Bont owners without getting Bont. So we're gonna do Bont in his buy. That's for sure. But we need to take some sort of advantage. So you need to either find a player playing similarly or someone who will help you in different ways. So if you saw the end of the last video, you'd see I was tinkering around and all I was doing was playing catch up. So if I had made two trades, all I was really doing was trying to get Goulden, trying to get something cheap, justify something short term. No, gonna have to boost again this week, and that's all right. I actually don't see any issues with a lot of boosts. You've got to use all your boosts by the buys anyway, because you're not going to use them later. I think we didn't use them all. So, long story short, if you just want to watch the first few seconds to see what I'm doing, I can show it to you this way. It's Hollands, Baker, Van Rooyen out, and yes, I know that Van Rooyen got overturned. It doesn't matter to me. His break even is his average anyway. So the fact that he got off doesn't really matter at the end of the day. We were trading him anyway, so everyone was going to trade him this week. He just happened to get suspended, so he's going. Baker, Hollands, they're all probably got a little bit of money left in them, but good three trade outs. Two round one guys that we're finally getting rid of 9 rounds later, and Van Rooyen, who made us a good amount of money quite quickly. Going early on Drury, who's named. We like that. Less said about Atkins in the team, the better. Could go Weddle here, but I just think that Atkins is a more reliable pick than Weddle. That's a hard statement to stomach, honestly. But I do think that Atkins is probably a more reliable pick than Weddle. Now, Gold Coast injury list is a joke. The way that, and I mean that not like West Coast is a joke. West Coast is crazy, but I mean that like Atkins is his the Gold Coast injury list is they don't have any time frames. They'll just say TBC, 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 which is it's laughable to put that in. Some teams use long term, short term. Some use weeks and then continue to change them on a week to week basis. And other teams just like Gold Coast just say TBC, TBC, TBC. So who knows when half of those guys are coming back? Atkins, if you have to field him, is more reliable than Weddle. I wouldn't have to field Weddle, but I don't know. I'm just not comfortable with Weddle. The way Hawthorn are chopping and changing players, the way they seem to use rookies on their third or fourth games as subs and then bring them in, I just don't like it. Hawthorn are a horrendous footy team as well, where Gold Coast are a little bit better. They're also playing West Coast, so if Atkins play, he might just get us a boost. Less said, the better about it. But lastly, he's a 200k player, so he's on field, so it's not wasted. And I've said this a couple of years ago in a few videos where you bake in the price change. So Rory Atkins, if you look at him as this is going to be huge copium, by the way. If you look at Rory Atkins as a 100k player who's already made 100k, then that's good. That's the trade. So essentially that trade is essentially free as long as you put him down to someone who's a bit cheaper. Say he makes us another 100k, you've essentially got 150, 200k because he starts at the higher price and he's scoring like that as well at the moment. That's extreme copium, but it is what it is. And Noah Anderson's the premium I'll bring in, who is pretty unique. I know a few people are bringing him this week, but he's going at 115, and that's without Took Miller, but he's played quite well with him. We'll just cancel that so we can see. So he scores quite well all year. Without Took Miller, that's a bit of a concern, these sort of scores, but he seems to have hit his strides here. Starting to score quite well. I'm starting to believe in him as a player. And he did last year, he was putting out very nice numbers as well towards the end. He's had some high scores. He's got a big ceiling. I like that. He also has, and this is why I'm getting him in, the extremely favourable buy. of round 13, where there are only 2 teams on a bye, which is Gold Coast and Geelong. And if you know this channel, I'm very big on scoring during the bye. It's how you can rocket up the rankings. I reckon last year I got top 100 scores multiple times throughout the buys. And that's what really rocketed me up, because you've got to have that. So anyway, they're the trades. Noah Anderson, we love that. Atkins, I'm going to loop Atkins with Simpson, but he probably ends up just playing. So they're all those. Yes, I'm still keeping Noah Long because, he comes back into that team. I can't loop these guys because Constable plays too early. And then the captain will just be Roberts or Madden. So, the loop captain, rather. So I'll actually vice-captain Noah Anderson into West Coast. What did he do last year against him? His highest is 106, but whatever. You can't really look at history when it comes to these sort of guys. Got a 106, but that was in round 1 of last year, and 105. So he's got multiple hundreds against him, and they're even worse this year. And then I think you just have to see Oliver. If you have Bont, obviously, I put the C on him. I would be worried about a tag because Carlton did tag a few guys. A lot of people trading at Ashcroft. Sure, if you want to. It's break even 70. I reckon he gets one more week for us and we can trade him next week. Very hesitant trading in guys so close to the bye, though. What you want to do over the next few weeks is just trade out your absolute certainties and get players who are playing, who are definitely going to play, and then make sure your buy coverage is good. So at the moment, I've got playing in round 12. I've got a few out because I've got a lot of Brisbane players, but that's ideally when we drop Ashcroft. Hopefully Roberts is back by then. Yeah, this Sturt pick's horrendous. So we don't have many in round 12. Not many people affected. Round 13, this is where we're really good because we don't... Anderson's the only miss for us there, so that's great. Tom Stewart's the only miss, which is really good for us because that means Tom Stewart and Anderson playing in this round, in round 14, which is the Crows and Collingwood bye and the Melbourne bye. So we're pretty happy with that. That's probably when we'll take Chandler out. And then round 15 is a big one because that's when the Dogs are out. GWS, Port, Richmond, North Melbourne, these are big ones for us. So that's probably where we try to send Sheasel for someone. We probably try to get Bont this week, do a swap. Maybe a Sam Walsh if he gets DPP. He will already be DPP by then. So we probably, if he gets DPP, sorry, let me clarify. If he gets DPP, he will be DPP by then. So that's maybe when we try to do him. Someone like Petrarca, maybe. We'll keep our eyes out on these sort of guys. And, whether we keep Marshall. So we're probably not going to be doing a lot of work over the next few weeks. Literally just a case of probably Ashcroft, maybe 2 trades next week to get 1 more premium in, and then we rest for the buys. So that 1 premium will be a mid-premium in order to get Ashcroft off field. And that'll give us 1 slot for defense, 1 slot for maybe 2 slots for forward. 1 of those reserved for Darcy Cameron because he's my boy. He has to come back in the team. Could be as early as next week, they're saying. But they might rush him back, so we'll watch him with a week. But luckily, Darcy Cameron, he scored 80 on his way out, so we're happy with that too. This other forward slot is probably safe for Sam Walsh or Petrarca. So that's our 2 forward slots. Defense, we'll see what DPP looks like, but it might end up just being potentially Sheasel just going back. Otherwise, we'll see who else. 2 slots here, unsure yet who we like. Obviously, Bont for 1, and then whenever he comes down, otherwise we'll pay up for him, and we'll make that happen. And then the last slot, we don't really know. We'll see who's tracking well. Preferably a good value pick. So does that mean we miss Goulden? Most likely going to miss Goulden. But we don't miss any other big player for the rest of the year. So I'm just trying to think of popular players. We won't get Sicily is the other one. We won't get Sicily. And people talking about things like Merritt, Parrish. I'm not going anywhere near those guys. You're joking. with those type of picks. Parrish especially. If you, Parrish is probably going to miss this week as it happens. You are joking if you bring him in. Just be warned. Mills is the same. So if you stayed this long for the video, let me give you some key advice on Mills and Parrish. Do not do it. Do not bring those guys in. I brought in Mills in 2020, ruined my entire season. And I reckon I brought in Parrish in the same year, and he ruined my entire season as well. So keep that in mind. All right, yep, cheers, guys. Kept you too long. Let me know what your trades are going to be. I'll try to answer any questions, things like that in the chat. Like and subscribe, all that business. Thanks. See ya.